Welcome back, everybody. Dave Cicchini here, joined by two very special guests. To my right, we have sophomore defensive back Ethan Robinson, and to my left, we have junior wide receiver Damian Harris. Before we get to them, just a quick recap of the Yale game. Obviously, a unique opportunity to play in the Yale Bowl, and a game that started out very well for the Bison. We took a 3-0 lead. We're doing some really good things on offense, particularly rushing the football. Rashawn Baker went out for over 100 yards on the day, including a 75-yard gain in the first half. Our defense was able to play really well as well. They forced 5 turnovers, the most turnovers that we've had certainly this season, 4 interceptions and 1 forced fumble. Unfortunately, Yale was able to take the lead going into halftime. Coming out of the second half, expanded their lead, but our offense came out with a great first drive of their own in the third quarter to close it and turn it into a 1-score game. And unfortunately, from there on, I think the physicality of the game broke us down, particular moments on offense and defense. We lost that consistency that we've been searching so much of the season for, and we ultimately fell to the Bulldogs, which was a disappointment for our team, with all the hard work and effort and the improvements that we are making as the season has gone along. Still yet to get a victory has made something very, very frustrating for us, and we're working really hard to overcome, particularly with this big rivalry game that we have coming this Saturday that I'll talk more about later on. But Ethan, we'll just start with you here. Playing in Yale, I know you're from New York, and you've had a pretty storied high school career yourself. Have you played in a venue, a stadium of that size before?
Yeah, so my junior year of high school, we were lucky enough to go to MetLife and play a crossover between New York schools and Jersey schools, Catholic schools. So we went to MetLife, great experience, great atmosphere. Surprisingly, obviously we didn't fill the stadium, but it was just as electric as you can imagine. And we were able to come out with the win back then.
That's great. And compare the two venues, with MetLife and obviously the Yale Bowl, big stadiums, but both very, very different, right?
Very different. Obviously, MetLife, everything's more up to date. Yale Bowl has more history to it, a little bit more historic. But I think both were equally as electric and great to play in both atmospheres.
Absolutely. Now, you're a sophomore. You've started about 5 or 6 games as a freshman and contributed an awful lot last year. This year, you've really hit your stride, starting every game at the defensive back or cornerback position. Can you tell us what it's like, the difference between your freshman year and your sophomore year?
So experience plays a big part in that. So last year, I was kind of going at everything. It was my first time, so I was kind of more hesitant in breaks and just making plays. But now this year, I get to play more fast, more energetic. Making tackles also, I've been in the program for a year, putting on weight, putting on size, getting stronger. Tackles have come easier, plays on the ball have come easier, and just getting an extra year with the guys and bringing everybody back on defense. We have a lot of returning starters, so it's just good to gel, and I think it's part of the reason why we're playing so well as a defense.
That's great. Now, you mentioned the weight training. This was really our first off season since prior to the pandemic, where we were able to get a full calendar year of off-season strength and conditioning training. Coach Kulbis does a great job with working with our players. What type of development in terms of strength and weight gain did you have between your freshman year and your sophomore year?
So weight-wise, I think it was between 10 to 12 pounds overall, and strength-wise, it was just getting stronger in all aspects, getting my legs a little bit bigger so I can be more explosive, upper body to help with my press coverage and press technique, and just getting off blocks. So just Coach Kulbis does a great job of getting the guys' strength improved all around and not just focusing on 1 or 2 little things, because at the end of the day, no matter how good you are at one thing, you can always get better. So I think Coach Kulbis does a great job of that, and it really paid dividends for me.
Absolutely. Dame, talking about the offensive side of the ball here. Now, you're our most experienced wide receiver. You've now played all 3, or really technically all 4 of our wide receiver positions. And you've also played a little bit of wildcat quarterback. So my first question to you is, do you have a particular position that you like the most?
I don't know if I particularly could say I like the most. I'm always open to being in the backfield playing quarterback. But I think for the wide receiver positions, it was just nice to move around, getting the experience everywhere. I guess I would say I kind of like the inside. You can take advantage of linebackers and safeties who can't cover as well. So I kind of like the inside more, but I'm always open to wherever I got to be plugged in now. I'm open to be.
Right. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the wide receivers, the mentality, just the group as a whole, and the particular mindset as well.
So we call ourselves the Cash Boys. The name of the group is the Cash Boys, and it's really all about getting in the end zone, getting paid. Big plays, doing the little things right that add up to getting paid. Getting paid is getting in the end zone, catching the ball, getting upfield, really getting yards at the catch, just getting paid. All about that cash.
I hear you. Now, you've had a couple of spectacular highlight reel diving catches, leaping, big plays, explosive plays. On Saturday against Yale, you caught a bunch of short routes and were able to, screens and whatnot, and been able to break some tackles and get us some big first downs on third down conversions. Do you like going deep? Do you like getting the ball in your hands on the shorter stuff, or does it not matter?
Yeah. For me, I actually do. I kind of like the shorter stuff and making stuff happen because I feel like the faster I get the ball, the better things go. But going deep is always fun too. But I definitely would say I like the screens. Give me 2 or 3 blocks and make some magic happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've got a big game coming up on Saturday against Lehigh. First trip back to Goodman Stadium, another grass surface. This will be our 3rd grass surface that we played on this year, which for those of you that don't realize it, that's actually... It's rare to play 3 football games in a season on good old-fashioned grass. How do you compare the different surfaces, having been on typical artificial turf or field turf, as most people call it, and playing on grass?
Well, growing up, at home in North Carolina, we always played on grass. So that was that's my home surface. So I've always been used to it. And I have yet to play Lehigh since I've been here. So this is going to be my first time playing on their surface. But I personally like grass more. That's an unpopular opinion here, but I like grass more. But it definitely changes the way you cut. I feel you get a more natural cut on grass. Sometimes you slip on turf. But just for me, I feel like playing receiver, coming in on my breaks, it's like a nice sharper feel when you break in, or if you do a double move, you definitely get more into the route. So I like grass more.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I'm a traditionalist as well, and former wide receiver. And again, call me old school. The field turf hadn't been invented yet. You were either playing on the old artificial turf, which was basically like playing on a carpet with that was rolled over concrete. But I preferred. I also like there's something about getting those grass stains, the mud, the dirt. Get that uniform dirty. So I'm definitely with you. So anyway, so Lehigh, our big opponent here this Saturday. 12 o'clock kickoff in Goodman Stadium. Hopefully we can get a lot of you supporters out there cheering us on. We could really use your support and cheer us on to our first victory of the season and hopefully a big one against our rival. Thanks so much for your support, and go Bison.